the freaking comments. Let's get it. I'm super stoked. What's popping? Facebook, what is good? LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, what's popping? Hope you guys. How's your Monday going? All right, so hold on. I just paused that. Before I get into today's episode, I want to hear from you guys. So drop a win in the chat box. Let me know how your Monday is going so far. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. I shouldn't say different. Oftentimes, I call you guys out on your bullshit because, quite honestly, it's what it is. And some of you guys need to hear that. So if I'm the guy that you got to get pissed at, then it is what it is. Okay. Pop, what's good? Krista, what's going on? Thank you guys for tuning in. Trip Avenue, thank you for tuning in. Martin, appreciate the follow. Am I okay? Yes, I am more than okay. Today is a beautiful day, and I'm super excited to bring you guys some value. Back with another episode on the podcast. It's lit. Favorite appetizer? Probably mozzarella sticks. If I had to, actually, I don't know. Baked clams are really good. Oysters are good. I can go all day with that. That's so funny. Ray, appreciate the follow. Thank you. Thank you guys for tuning in. All right, you know what? Let's just get right into it because your boy is getting a little low on energy and it's getting late over here in Florida. So it gets dark early now at like 5 o'clock. So I promised myself that I was going to go for a walk after I finish work. And this is one of the last things that I have on my calendar for today. So with that being said, let's get into today's episode in 3, 2, Fred, what's up, brother? Let's go. 2 and pause this and 1. What's up, mother truckers? Welcome back to another episode of the Shift Your Mind, Change Your Life podcast. This is your favorite motherfucking coach out. Let's get it. In today's episode, I'm calling some of you bitches out. Now, I know that may sound a little bit aggressive, but it's coming from a place of love, and I'm going to break that down in today's episode. I mean, honestly, I've been hearing a lot of excuses, for lack of a better word, recently. And I think if you guys could just make this millimeter shift in your mindset, then you will start to unlock a version of yourself that you didn't think was possible. Coming from experience, this took me years, honestly, years to really figure out and grasp. So I think if you guys are able to really digest what we're speaking about in today's episode, then it's going to give you the clarity, confidence, and conviction to level up in all the aspects of your life. And this is something that can really help you streamline your goals. So I want you guys to listen to intent with today's episode. Now, the title of this episode is labeled to Stop Lying to Yourself. And that's really what I want to hammer today because I see it too frequently. I mean, let's be real for a second. I think all of us are guilty of that to some extent, including myself. You know, I am not perfect and I will never act that way. Now, I think it's all these. Let me know if you guys resonate with this in the chat box or if you're listening to this on the replay. We make these little white lies every day, these little compromises on ourselves. And usually that's what our downfall is. Like, for example, you said you're going to get up at a certain time to go to the gym, but you hit snooze and lay in bed and skip your workout. And you're just like, well, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. And you just keep compromising on that. You keep procrastinating on that. And the problem with that is that you're destroying your integrity with yourself. And truthfully, the more that you do that, the more it's holding you back because you don't take. Oh, God damn. Guys are connected to my Bluetooth. Okay, so we're going to keep this rolling. Because truthfully, that's something that was holding me back for a very long period of time, which is why I believe in it so strongly, because for majority of my life, like, my word meant nothing. And it's hard for me to talk about, but my younger years, if I said I was going to do something, like, I usually never followed through. And that was an issue for a long time because if you don't trust yourself, right, then how can anyone else rely on you? And that's really the issue, right? Like, if nobody else can rely on you, then you're basically setting yourself up for disappointment, whether that be business, relationships, friendships, it doesn't matter. And also, more importantly, it's the relationship that you have within yourself, which is most important, right? Like, now, how does this really pertain to you? Right. And what you're trying to take out of this episode. And I'll tell you what that is. Now, let me know if you guys could resonate with this. Like, you say things like, I'm not ready. Maybe next week. I don't think this is the best time for me to commit. But usually what I've seen is that exact mindset is what cripples people from getting what they truly want out of life. It's that exact mindset, that story you keep telling yourself, that you keep putting it off for this perfect time, but there really is never a perfect time. Like, let me ask you, well, when is the right time? Right. And like, it's just something that I hear so often, and it's comical because I used to say the same things to myself all the time. And honestly, most of my clients say these things when they join my program originally on our initial consults. And if you're a client of mine listening to this right now, you know what I'm talking about. And I bet your ass, if you've been in my program for at least 2 weeks, and you fucking know what's good, right? Like, you know that what we're doing here is so much more than just losing a couple pounds, because it is. And I say that all the time, that it's a lot more than losing weight, because ultimately it's the person that you're becoming every single day, right? Like, it's doing all the shit you didn't think was possible. I did not think hopping on stage was possible. I had a client, Alex of mine, came to me. I don't know, I think it was like 6 months ago now. She was like, yo, Sal, like, I want to run a marathon. And I was like, cool. I've never trained someone how to do that, and I'm going to tell you that. But if you want to ride with me, I'll give you my best. And she ran the fucking half marathon and absolutely crushed it. Why? Because she just made the fucking decision that that's what she was going to do. And she put the work in every single day, and she got it done. And that's what I'm saying. Like, oftentimes our biggest critic, our biggest roadblock in life is our own mentality. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the title of this episode is to stop lying to yourself, because so often, like, that's what we do. You know, we play this victim mentality. We point the finger and blame the circumstances and complain as to why we don't have what we want. But in reality, it's often just the programming that you're feeding to yourself. And you could change that right now, today, as you listen to this episode. No one's forcing you to hit snooze, right? Like, no one's forcing you to skip your workouts, and take fitness out of it for a second. Again, it's just integrity with yourself, which is everything, right? What do you guys think of that? TikTok is fucking OD, man. What do you guys think of that? Drop it in the chat box and let me freaking know. I'm going to keep this over here. Honestly, because it's something that, man, like, it took me so long to grasp this. And it's just like funny when I think about it now, because just a few years ago, like, I didn't have integrity. My word meant nothing. Like, I didn't hold any value with my word whatsoever. And I didn't realize how much of an impact that it had. Like, my dad was very big on this growing up, and it took me up until like the last couple of years to really grasp it. You know, if he was always saying, if you said you're going to do something, you have to fucking do it. I'm going to say that again. If you said you're going to do something, you have to fucking do it, because if you don't, you're absolutely destroying the integrity that you have with yourself. And if you don't take yourself seriously, then nobody else can. And if you truthfully want the most out of your life, then that's what it's going to take, is doing all the shit that you don't want to fucking do every single day, honestly. And it's the same thing, you know, with my bodybuilding show and my client Alex, like I just mentioned. Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. But that's what it is. We're never going to be ready. There's never going to be that perfect time to start on your goals. And I just see too many freaking people hold themselves back and stay in this place of comfort. You know, like, they want to start that side hustle, leave their job and do X, Y, Z, but it never fucking happens because they don't bet on themselves and they don't take that risk and that chance to do it. And if you're okay with your life, then just click out, you know, leave the stream. It's totally fine. Then I'm not speaking to you. This is more speaking to the people who constantly say these things that they want to change. They want X, Y, Z, but what are they actually doing about it? And yeah, maybe it's a little uncomfortable to listen to this right now, but what's worse, you know, fast forwarding a few years and being in the same spot and still talking about that shit, like still sitting down at the table with your friends and family about how you're going to do all these things, but you're not doing anything to move the needle for it. That's a problem, right? Like, that's an issue. So that's really the purpose of today's episode, is to shine some light on that and give you some insight and be like, hey, like, no, like, we got to get this going now. Because again, when is the right fucking time, right? There never is. So if you're constantly saying things like you want to change, then I would challenge you to get outside of your comfort zone. Stop complaining about it and start working towards that. And that simply starts first thing in the morning with keeping the promises that you make to yourself. Instead of hitting snooze, do what you fucking said you were going to do, right? Like, I know so many people in my life who are doing very big things with themselves. And I think the biggest thing that I've seen with them is that they have integrity. Their word is their bond, right? And I think also the other point to that too is letting go of what you think it should look like. Oftentimes we have this perception thinking that in our mind, these things are going to look a certain way. Like, for example, a fitness journey or starting a business. You have this idea in your mind of what do you think it's going to be, but oftentimes it's the freaking opposite of that. So I think if you're able to accept that, get in the fucking trenches and let it be messy, that's what it is, man. That's what it is. So guys, the purpose of today's episode was to shine some light on the fact that we continuously play small and sit in our comfort zones, and we feed ourselves lies, and we program this belief and this story into ourselves to justify the reasons as to why we're not taking action, why we're staying in the same place, why we're complacent. But I want to challenge you to get outside of that, to push yourself, to get to places you never thought were possible. And that's simply done by being integral with your word, by doing all those things you said you were going to do. There's never going to be that perfect fucking time. There's never going to be next week, this, and that. Like, yeah, you can make the argument that some of that shit is valid, but in reality, like, is that going to move the needle for you? It's not. And it's not. So I want you guys to really reflect on what we spoke about today. And the next time you catch yourself saying things like that, I don't have the time, I'm too busy, I'll start next week, right? I want you to really refer back to this episode, reflect on it, like actively working on it, because you are capable of doing those things. You could do whatever you want. Like, I know I always say that, like, yo, you can do whatever you put your mind to, like, but truthfully, if you're able to change the story within yourself and the programming and the self-limiting beliefs through internal work, like fitness, therapy, hiring a coach, a mentor, like whatever it is, those are all things that I've done that's helped me see a massive amount of success. And like a few years ago, I would have told you that it's a bunch of bullshit, but I'm speaking from true life experience, being 26 years old now, which is still young, obviously, but I've done a lot of things. And I want you guys to be able to take something from the amount of effort and time and money and energy that I put into this. And that's what it is. You're streamlining the process through listening to the words here. What do you guys think of that? If you could drop some fire in the chat box, I would appreciate you if you guys are getting value so far. I want to be a fire truck. With new levels comes new devils. Absolutely. You snooze, you lose. Everyone is born equal. I love that, Terry. Thank you for the comment. I appreciate you. You guys are hysterical. I love it. I love it. All right, so let's wrap this up really quick. So guys, to recap today's episode, I really just want to say thank you for tuning in. And I want you to understand that you are more than capable. You truthfully can do whatever you set out to do if you believe in yourself, if you take the necessary steps every single day just to put in the effort. And I'm closing my eyes and I'm really trying to think concisely here as I speak on this, because I'm just trying to think of people who may be in a similar position as to where I was when I started this journey a few years ago. To give you more context, I started my fitness journey about 10 years ago, and I've been up and down, and I've gone through so many things of being really overweight and being really skinny, and finally of getting to a place the last couple of years where I really feel like at peace and I feel healthy, and I feel like I finally have got a good grasp on things. And you know what? It doesn't happen by accident. I'm going to say that again. It doesn't happen by accident. People want to make the argument that, oh, well, you're lucky, you have good genetics, you have this, and that. Truthfully, I don't agree with that because I know what I do every single day. And I know that the ground that I've been able to cover in just a few years is way further than majority of the people in my family. Why? Because I've relentlessly take action outside of my comfort zone, like recording this podcast right now while I live stream on 5 different platforms. Right? Most of my family didn't graduate high school. Most of my family didn't go to college. Most of my family never left their corporate jobs. None of my family members have ever done a bodybuilding show. Right? So it's just like, I just continuously want to be a testament to what's possible and give you the insight and inspiration that you need to live your best life, because I know there is a higher version for us all, myself included. I'm not satisfied right now. I'm just getting fucking started. I still have so much to learn and improve upon. And when you could understand that and really come at it from that perspective, then I think it's really going to serve you over time, because it is a skill set. It's something that can be improved upon. And when you view it from that lens of, hey, let me just get a little bit better today, it becomes an addicting process. At least for me personally, right? Like I just continuously look at it as like, well, what could I do today that's going to get me a little bit better? And then like when you see those results, it starts to motivate you more in a positive direction to see, well, okay, well, how much further can I push this? How much more can I go? What else can I do? What else can I achieve? And you just keep, setting the bar and smashing the goal and then continuing to build that over and over again. And it never fucking ends, and that could scare you or that could motivate the shit out of you. And for me, I choose to view it as I want it to motivate me. And I want to do the best that I possibly can every single day to encourage my family, friends, and clients to do the same thing. That way we can live our best life, because that's all we have is time. That's it. And when I'm older, when it's all said and done, all I want to be able to say is, man, I gave it 100%. I maxed out the life that I was given. And I'm trying not to get emotional as I say that, because it's the reality of the situation. Every single day is a gift. And you choose how you operate with that. And you could either sit there and be a victim to your circumstances, or you could choose to be resilient and show up with faith and do the best that you can every single day, because that's what it takes. And yeah, it's scary. It's daunting. It takes a lot of work and effort, but entertain the other side of it, right? Like, what's the point of just kind of half-assing things and being miserable all the time and hating the way you look and feel? Like, I don't think that's a life to live, because I've been there. I've been that guy who was overweight, who lacked confidence, who would tear up his closet trying to find clothes that fit, and nothing would fit. So sometimes I just wouldn't go out because my shirt didn't fit the way I wanted to. Or you go out and you're self-conscious the whole time that you can't even fucking enjoy yourself. I've been that dude, and I never want to be that fucking guy again. I've been flat broke. I've had a negative bank account, and I've been partying every single fucking weekend and doing all things I'm not proud of. And that's maybe another episode for another day. But I just want you to understand, as you listen to this, wherever you are, if you're in the car, walking, cooking, driving, it doesn't matter. Just understand that you are more capable than you're playing right now. And all it takes is to put in some effort and get outside your comfort zone. If you could relentlessly pursue that every single day, I know for a fact it will serve you. So guys, thank you for tuning in. Peace, love, and protein. We'll see you in the next one. I appreciate you guys. Have the best day of your motherfucking lives. Let's go. Woo! Shit. Krista, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Thank you. I try to, usually a lot of times, like with the podcast, I record these at least 3-5 times a week, depending on my schedule for my client load. But some days I usually yell most of the time. But like today, I felt like it was coming from a place where like it needed a little bit more like authenticity, if that makes sense, like a little different type of energy, because it was like a little bit of a touchy subject, so like I'm not going to sit here and talk about like deep shit and like scream at you, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't make sense. But Krista, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Hope you got value. Terry, I've been a single mom for 6 years and my body and relationships have been through the ringer. Just need to be king and work hard. I appreciate you sharing that, Terry. Thank you very much. I'm going to toss you a follow. Let me see if I can do that really quick. I know TikTok allows you to click on the account. Yep, Terry, I got you on a follow. Awesome. Walmart, Pepsi, stop being dramatic. TikTok always is giving hate, man. I'm just trying to inspire people to live their best lives, man. I do follow Krista already. I was going to throw her a follow too. I love it. All right, guys, that's all I have for tonight. If you guys had any other questions, let me know. But I do have to hop on another meeting in just a couple minutes here. And I want to make sure that I am fully prepared for that. I'm going to take a sip. I don't see any comments on Facebook, anything from IG or TikTok before we wrap this up. My guy, Fred. Fred, did you stay for the whole thing, man? If you did, I appreciate you, brother. I hope you're having an amazing day. Me and Fred were able to connect down in Miami at FitCon. That was absolutely incredible, brother. And anything you need, always the DMs are open. I want you guys to know, anything you guys need, shoot me a fucking message. Nice work, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you. My goal is I literally have it on a sticky note on my ring light. So just to change one person's life a day, every single day. That's the mindset that I got from my coach to approach my days with. And that's my goal every single day. Just to change one person's life. And like, yeah, some days I might help a little bit more people, but like the goal is to come into the day with that perspective and do the best that I possibly can. So appreciate you guys. Have the best night of your entire freaking lives, and we'll see you on tomorrow's episode. Peace.